fix this well for $2,000 or dig a new one for $10,000. To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I thought I'd just show you around some of the progress I've been making on things in the last few days. As you know, I spent a couple days building the well house and getting it decorated and prettied up. I've spent a few days getting the porch done. I had to go get some chickens, and I'm going to show you the chickens and things I've done down there. But one of the projects that I've been kind of putting, not on the back burner, well, maybe it is. Maybe that's the perfect word for it, the back burner. I'm not ignoring it. But about every 3 days, I come out here and I dig a little bit in my root cellar. And the reason I'm doing 3 days is I noticed if I work on it much more than about an hour every 3 days, my neck starts to hurt. You can see that I got some fresh dirt laying up there. Now I know there's going to be those macho men. I could have done it in a day. I want to see pictures. To refresh your memory, I'm going to go 4 feet deep at the back edge there. And we're about 3 feet 6 inches, so I'm only about a half foot. And I've hit rock. I don't know if it's bedrock or if it's a big piece of concrete slab. I may have to just stop at 3 foot 6 inches, build it up on the sides with dirt. And so then I got this ditch that I'm building. That's going to be a French drain. Of course, that's going to have to go deeper, but I just needed water to drain out of it because it was getting so flooded that it was hard to work on. And so this is going to be the open face. Carolyn's very forgiving about the messes I make. As long as I'm making progress, I would think she would get frustrated after a while if it's just a big hole and never did anything. So yesterday I showed you that we got 4 more chicks. Told you about the story about the dog attacking one of our chicks and knocking Carolyn over. Well, in yesterday's video, I showed you that we just kind of introduced them to the bigger chicks, and it was off and on going okay. I was really getting worried. I mean, one of the hens, I don't know if she's jealous or protective of one of the roosters. I don't know, but there's a rooster and a hen that seem to be kind of in charge of this place. Last night, the chicks were outside. They were doing just fine by themselves over in that corner where the weeds were. There's the hen that I'm talking about right there. I don't know if she's protective of them or what. I'll get into that in a minute. So last night, I put them into the crate here, and they slept in the crate with all the air holes. I put food and water in there. Then I put the crate inside there, inside the chicken coop. So all the chickens were in the chicken coop. They were roosting on their grapevines. I got grapevines in there that they roost on. I put the crate in there. Got up this morning and I took the crate out. Took the chicks out of the crate. And then the rooster comes out. Now the rooster always comes out first. Like he's got to check out what's going on, make sure everything's safe for the others. And he looks at him like, what are you doing? I mean, it was just strange. And then the hen came out, the one that just walked in there. I don't know if you saw it, maybe not. It may have not been in the camera shot. But the one that was sitting right here just a second ago. She comes over and pecks one of them. Well, I'm really worried about as small as they're only 6 weeks old. About the roosters, I was worried about the roosters, but it appears that hen is being protective. To me, it felt like, hey, he has to come out and check first before you come out here, so she pecked him. It's like she was disciplining the chicks for being out first. I don't know. After it all got settled, the chicks went back into the coop, which I don't want them in the coop. I'd like to have them outside eating the bugs and growing up real fast. Even the lady at the farm that we got them at said if you put them out in the grass, they're going to grow really fast in comparison to just feeding them feed. So I wanted them to come outside, but they wouldn't. Tells me that that hen probably chased them back in there. I took this chicken net that we used. We use this, I don't know, can you see that? It's just a netting, and we had it laid over our chicken run here. But after we put this on, we took that off. So this is doing better to protect them not only from the birds, but from the sun. And the chickens are staying out more. So I took this netting and I wrapped it up just around a small little area here. But I wanted to make sure the chicks are protected from any rain or, so they feel comfortable. So I put the little chicken coop that we bought earlier on. Put that in here. That way if it rains, that they got someplace to take shelter because they won't be able to get into the chicken coop. And so at night, I'll just put them in that bin there. Of course, we're going to get a bigger bin. That's not big enough. After another week or two, that's going to be too small. And then they can sleep in there at night. So I read that they should be able to defend themselves pretty good at 10 weeks old against the other chickens. So we got 4 more weeks to go, and we'll just deal with it. So we got a rooster there. He wants to get on camera, I think. That's the boss. I'm sure he is the boss. He's the first one. He's very curious too. He was the first one to come check out this green netting after I put it up. He's in charge, but he is not aggressive. He's not as aggressive as that hen is. I don't know the pecking order. The pecking order. See, you get that? I don't understand the pecking order, but that's what it is, and it's just my observations. Nothing scientific. But in the end, I think the chicks are happy. I don't want them staying in there the entire time underneath this shelter. So I brought their food and water out here, so they have to be forced to come out. I think they don't understand that they're protected by the netting. I think they're still a little cautious from the chickens. The thing I don't really want to happen, and I think it's already happening, is I don't want two flocks. I want to be able to integrate the two flocks in together. But I can already see that this is us and them type of thing already happening. Now I know if I don't show you Frenchie, everybody's gonna be upset that they didn't see Frenchie, but Frenchie just laid down right there underneath that other chicken, the white one. And for those who don't know the story about Frenchie, there's this lady from France who said she didn't want any chickens named after her. She's a longtime subscriber. And I said, not to fear, I'll just name him Frenchie. And she liked that, so that's Frenchie. It's the only one that we really could identify at a young age. Now yesterday I was telling you about this mesh, or mush, or whatever you want to call it, that Carolyn puts together for the chickens. And what she does is, I've shown you before, she ferments seeds like sunflower seeds and Milo and that kind of stuff. It's all comes in the bag of scratch feed, puts in a bottle and waters it, and it grows, and then you get these sprouts. So she mixes it in with corn and different things and soaks it in water, and they love that stuff. It's like their treat. Now, the way we put them away at night is I come on this side of the chicken coop. Carolyn goes on the other side, lifts up the nesting box lid, throws in a piece of bread, and they all come running in. See, they all went in. They all thought that there was bread. I didn't mean to trick them. So hopefully we can get the little ones trained like that too. I want to talk about the well just for a second. I don't want to harp too much on it. I've been dealing with dirty water after it rains for about a year. Well, we've been here a year. What happens is groundwater was getting into the well after a rain. And even the lightest little rain would cause this to happen. And so in order to use the water, I would have to turn the pump on and just dump the well out into the ground 3 times. It takes about 15 minutes. At the time, we had a 30-gallon a minute well pump. And it was an all-day project to do that. Well, the whole time I've been saying that I was going to fix the well. And so I put a well packer in the well. That's why we have this stanchion coming out here. The stanchion is a 4-inch PVC pipe, and at the bottom of the 4-inch PVC pipe is a well packer that seals up against the well casing. There's videos on this. You can go back. As a matter of fact, I even renamed the video so it's easy to see, well packer or installation or something like that. But there was still some significant muddy, dirty water after it rained. It was a huge flooding rain, by the way. What I discovered is the concrete slab around the well case was leaking. I mean, I could see where it was leaking at. So I dug it all out. I poured a new 6-inch deep slab of concrete, 4 feet wide, 4 feet long, just like I was supposed to. That's to specifications. After that, I made a French drain all the way around this. So any water that comes running down the hill will hit that rock bed, sink right to the French drain and down towards me. It would completely stay away from the well. Then I built the well house around it. Prior to that, I just had a tarp over it, which served as the well house, and it worked just fine. Well, I got a commenter who said, I never thought in 1,000 years that would work. I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm glad he saw that. But what I'm disappointed in is this channel really tries to inspire you to go outside your current thinking process. That's the only way I can make this off-grid living work, is to think completely outside the box. I know that's cliche to say. Our society tells us that we have to be hooked up to the power grid, and yet I'm not. The inside of the box thinking says, no, you're going to have to hire an expert. They're going to have to come out and determine if this well is usable, which I knew they wouldn't. There's no way they would fix this well. Fix this well for $2,000 or dig a new one for $10,000. Which one do you think they're going to tell me? They would have condemned this well and I would have had to fork out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I was able to fix it, I would say, under $500. I had to study a lot. I knew nothing about wells a year ago. I don't have a pressurized tank. Rob, you gotta have a pressurized tank. I don't have a pressurized tank. I just turn on my pump every day and I fill up my 275-gallon IBC tank now that the well's fixed. It's outside the box thinking, and you have to have that. You have to. And I think as more we move on into society and people are wanting to step back from civilization, I mean, that's why this channel does so well, is there are people who are just fed up being forced to do things a certain way. And we're all looking for a different kind of freedom. The way to do that is stop thinking traditionally. And I'm so happy to be independent of all that and self-sustaining. I hope I can inspire you to think outside the box so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.